Da 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 da. Start in the stream. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Okay, starting the stream. Wait for people to get on, you know? Give them a minute or so. My non-existent chat, you know? Okay, chat. Hi, Valum. Hello. Hello, everybody. So, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Um, so we have this game, right? We got a total conversion mod. And, Hearts of Iron 4, you know, usually it takes place second world time period of the Second World War, right? So, instead, I've got this mod coming or on here, and the mod's about, well, what if Germany won the First World War, and how would that have changed the entire world? Because it changed a lot if if this is anything to speak for it. Um, so without any further ado, actually, well, before we get super into it, I just wanted to, I want to maybe I'll probably refer to this a whole bunch, but Saturday night, starting our P server, and you know that's going to be probably our first Minecraft stream in a little over a week, a little under a week, I think actually, yeah, a little under a week, because I streamed Minecraft Sunday. So that'll be what my week looks like. You know, we'll probably be doing this game for, you know, tonight and tomorrow night. Anyways, new game. So I think as you can tell, it looks a little different. Just a little different, you know. Just a wee little bit. Um, so what I either want to do is I either want to play as Siam, because I think it would be cool to play as Siam, or I want to play as the Netherlands. Both have you know, obviously both are kind of small, almost insignificant in a way, but they can each play their own roles, and if I play them right, maybe not with the Netherlands. I want to see how the Netherlands works out. But I know if you can play Siam right, you can become a pretty, you know, large powerhouse in this area of Asia, working with Japan. Um, So does chat have any ideas of what they want to see me play? Netherlands, Siam. I mean, it could be any other. I mean, look, we got like Brazil down here. We could play as America. We could play as France, Germany, Hungary, the Alash Autonomy, Russia, Mongolia, Dominion of India, the Barashia Commune. Which actually, if you play this right, you can actually get Mahatma Gandhi as a part of your as your leader, which is kind of fun. Well, I think that's kind of funny. You know, you could play as one of the Chinese warlords over here. Play as Japan. Could play as the Philippines under Manuel Luis Quezon. Hi, Coco. Um, Nejd and Hassa. Hmm. I don't know. We could also try Poland. I've heard people saying good things about Poland. Um, I think Siam though. I think I'm gonna say Siam. We'll play a Siam. But I've already played a Siam. I played Siam before last game. Like I want to do something new. Like I guess you know what? Let's do this one. Oh no. I think it'd be cool to play as Romania. We'll do a game of Romania. Chat. That's what we'll do. Play as Romania. You know, we got some nice little upbeat music going. You know. If you care about this, I mean that's just stuff for me to know that I already know about, so you shouldn't care. Okay. Let's get our typical research. I'm gonna start building stuff. Uh, have that as my setup. And I'm gonna change the music really quickly. No default, no classics. So we just get the Kaiserreich special music. The what? The national radio? Ooh. Da, 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 da. Hurrah, hurrah. This is an old Civil War march for those of you who don't know what this is in chat. So I want to have these all set to Infantry Division 2. Uh, I want to take a look here. I want to see which way we go. So I guess this is. Hmm. I think the way that we're gonna start by doing this is hitting this easy focus just for some quick bonuses. And then I think going against the Bulgarian border is gonna be the way we want to go to after this. I don't know, just draw a line. Doesn't really matter. Oh, good God. Okay. This is another thing about this mod is that some people call it a Hearts of Iron 4 story mode because you'll get a lot of these events. So I'm gonna be here. We'll be doing a lot of reading. I'm actually gonna set it to speed 4. So, Kingdom of Romania, 1936. The Kingdom of Romania was still a relatively young country when it joined the Weltkrieg in 1916 with grand ambitions of taking Transylvania from the Hungarians, a dream that remains unrealized to this day. Despite some initial successes in 1916, the small country was quickly overwhelmed by German, Austrian, and Bulgarian troops. Against all odds, the Romanian army did not break and instead established new positions around uh, Yezai, I don't know. With help of the Russians and the French, they rebuilt their strength and repelled the Central Powers again and again. The end only came when the Russian Revolution and collapse of the Eastern Front made Romania's position untenable. Many young men had died for an ideal that ultimately proved just out of reach, and the situation in the country itself had proved for naught. The Treaty of Bucharest was bitter, even more so because the Romanian army had fought well. With this, the quote-unquote stab in the back narrative emerged. Romania was betrayed by the Russians. They were left alone by the Western Entente. They were sabotaged from the inside by the traitorous minorities, such as Jews. Radical movements rose quickly, fueled by bitterness, revanchism, and social issues such as unequal land use. By 1936, the strongest of those movements is the Legion of Archangel Michael, popularly known as the Legionary Movement, led by the young and charismatic Corneliu Condru, the captain of the Iron Guard. Just gotta check this out. Okay. In 1927, King Ferdinand passed away and was succeeded by his son, Carol II. Even though Carol had a reputation for being quite the womanizer, the war had really left its mark on the king. His dream was clear, to succeed in where his father had failed. In his quest, the king found an ally equally driven and struck a deal with Condrenu. Two men united in their revanchist fervor tore apart the democratic system in the 1933 elections. After the assassination of Prime Minister I.G. Duca by the Iron Guard, Codreanu formed the first legionary government, the first step towards Greater Romania. While the king and the captain might be allies in their revanchist project, it is clear they ultimately do not wish to share power. The so-called Great Game between these two men began quickly after the elections, after Codreanu started his ambitious land reform, an issue very popular among his base. Influential landowners appealed to the king, who in turn forced Codreanu to halt his reforms. With growing enmity between the two men, the power struggle can only get more fierce, with neither one ready to give up power. As long as they share the common goal of Greater Romania, they will work together. But after that, only God knows. So I haven't played Romania before, so I'm gonna ask for some more information of the Great Game. Mechanics of the Great Game. There is an additional resources used by both Codreanu and the King. Influence. New laws and policies require approval of both the legionary-controlled assembly and the King. This forces both parties to make concessions to drive their own agenda. After completing either focus, entrench party control, or lay the seeds for the Camarilla, you unlock a set of decisions to interact with the system from either Codreanu's or from Carol's point of view. The decision of the political path is a decision to pick a side. If you manage to keep that side in power after the unification, your nation will be stronger than if it changes control. In addition to the decisions, influence is gained from the political branch of the focus tree, and it is primarily spent on the land reform branch, which requires influence to advance. But beware, your opponent has their own influence which gives them more power, enabling many events not necessarily in your advantage. To the victor goes the spoils. Okay, a great game it is. And so the days fall on Romania. Okay. Chat. Coco. Anyone, please. This is a critical moment. So, as the year 1936 begins, the struggle between the nation's two competing leaders, King Carol II and Prime Minister Claude Renew, is entering a new phase. Deadlocked for some time, the two are running out of space to maneuver around each other. With growing frequency, they are starting to collide head-on, and it is becoming increasingly difficult to maintain the facade of cooperation. As it stands, the king and the captain are both realizing that the time to take the other out for good is approaching. As the two personalities stand to clash, people will be increasingly forced to pick a side, or face the consequences of neutrality alone. Um, I hope Coco's in chat, because Coco's pretty active. Yeah, Coco's in chat. Hi, Coco. So, Coco, do you think I should side with the captain, or do you think I should side with King Carol II? What, Captain, what's his name? Captain, Codrianu. You don't know? Okay. Indeed. Captain? We'll go with the captain? Okay. Let's go with the captain. I stand by Codrianu and his legionaries. So we will now side with the legionary movement. Let's get Michael in here. That's pretty barbaric. Uh-oh. Taking advantage of the chaos in Moscow after the assassination of Kerensky, Lever Kornilov and his officers, with the help of combat squads from Boris Savinkov's NRPR, took to the streets of Moscow to fight off leftist organizations and trade unionists. After hours of bloody street fighting, Kornilov took full control of Moscow and was sworn in as the Supreme Commander-in-Chief and President of Russia. That guy looks pretty cool. I mean, since everyone's at my border, I think I'm kind of screwed. I'm getting the feeling that no one wants me around. Everyone wants me dead. Getting that vibe. But really, for a good bit of the stream, I just kind of want to let the game run, let the game take its course, and I just want to like interact with chat. That's kind of the way that I want to do this. Okay. The Totalist Charter. Mussolini, Valois, Ultramar, and other interested parties arrived in Birmingham today to discuss their common ground. It has been agreed that Maximism, Sorennialism, and National Syndicalism all share the basic principles of the state's primacy in the socialist struggle, the role of national identity within the state, and the importance of a strong central authority to preserve and build socialism. The Charter also claims the socialist state is the final stage of human development and that democracy is not necessary to achieve socialism. These statements have drawn great criticism from other socialist factions, who give it the name totalism as a play on totalitarian socialism, which has been eagerly accepted by Mosley, who added it to the manifesto's name, attributing it to their total commitment to socialism. The people must reject this madness. Okay, so there's that, the Totalist Charter. It's a very strong vibe here. Yeah, we're going for that full vibe here. We got like all the ones. Oh, this one's what we call the Romanian army. Mm, I'm vibing. We got that vibe going. That's just how it is. Union Day, everything for the fatherland. Is it strange since this feels like history class? I mean, I guess. I mean, and technically, this would be a history. This is a history of what would have happened if Germany won World War One. You know, but hey, if this helps you learn about history and gets you into history, I think this is the best way because this is a pretty fun way to get into history. Okay, um, let's go ahead and read this. Okay, uh, anarchiste elected in France. The Commune of France is the world's leading syndicalist nation. United as a federation of city communes directed by the Comité des Salut Public, the chief executive. Ever since its inception, however, the second commune was not uniform in its policy. Numerous factions arose, each one with their own idea of which path France should take. As time for revenge against Germany for the World Revolution closes in, the CGT election of 1936 is said to be very important. The replacement for the disgraced Marcel Pivet rose from the Anarchists, a movement inspired by the Ukrainian revolutionary Mr. Bakhno. The anarchists lead the CSP in favor of greater regional freedom and drastic cut in CSP's powers. Interesting. After the Weltkrieg, as the British Raj collapsed into turmoil and warfare, the neighboring kingdom of Afghanistan took advantage of this opportunity to seize Peshawar and Quetta, both border regions of the Dominion. However, the Afghani government's attempts to modernize in the past few decades have been met with fierce resistance from the conservative elements within the country. King Amullah Khan now hopes to use the turmoil in Delhi following the death of King George V to his advantage. By repeating the success of the Fourth Anglo-Afghan War, the king hopes to silence the conservative opposition and bring new lands to the crown. However, international experts do not put many hopes on the tiny mountain nation winning this conflict. Who cares about Afghanistan? Definitely not America. You love the voice? Yes. The French voice. Okay, so Black Monday on the 3rd of February. This is the 5th. You're 2 days late. Late boy. On the 3rd of February 1936, the Berlin Stock Exchange stopped sinking, it plunged. Fueled by the instability of the market panic, selling erupted as soon as the stock market opened on Monday morning. It took well into the night for the teleprinters to stop sputtering out the results of what had become known as Black Monday. When the results had been analyzed, it was clear that the situation had only got worse. The shock of this unprecedented economic catastrophe will no doubt be felt all over the entire world. The German Golden Age has ended, for now, at least. Mein Gott. Mein Gott. So there's our Great Depression, guys. Black Monday. We have Bessarabia, Moldavia, Mutania, and Ventia. Yeah, we little weak boy. I gotta get Dobrizha and Silestria. Let's do this one first. Whatever. I guess we'll have to do it this way. Alright. The Austrian Empire withdraws from Italy. It is clear that Black Monday has hit the Austrian Empire hard. The Austro-Hungarian Reichskriegsminister today announced he was recalling divisions stationed in Italian territory, unable to afford the financial burden of keeping them safe from the Socialist Republic of Italy. For good or ill, the Italian Republic is now effectively independent of Austrian domination, at least until the Austrians regain their full strength and decide whether or not their interests in the Italian peninsula are worth regaining. Many in the Italian Republic have expressed worry about whether or not this will leave them exposed to attack by the Socialist Republic of Italy, a move which would plunge Italy into civil war once again. Austrian influence does wane further. Poland declares the Republic. After several high-profile terror attacks in Poland and the near total collapse of their economy, a large group of high-ranking Polish officials have released a statement declaring the creation of a new Polish Republic. The declaration was met with immediate declarations of support from many government branches, and it appears that the Republic has taken control of most of the country with almost no bloodshed. The Regency Council, the formal ruling authority in Poland, has been dissolved, and the question of the next Polish king left forever unanswered. The people have rallied around the new republic, and the country's new future appears bright. Is the old order fading? So, we're almost caught up on equipment. That's good. Duma akasamai tramvai. Duma akasamai tramvai. Berlin crash hits Bucharest. Today was a dreadful day for the stock market of Bucharest, as many important banks and corporations went into a nosedive after the chain reaction that began with the crash of the Berlin stock market. Many businesses in Romania have been owned by large German and Austrian corporations, which are now in ruins. The unemployment rate has climbed sky high, and the export sector has been hit bad after the demand for oil and agricultural products in Central Europe has plummeted. Even now, they find ways to torment us. So now we're screwed. Thankfully, we can now do this. Nationalization of foreign assets. We gotta recover. Alright, chat. Chat, we gotta fix the economy. Economy. We gotta fix the economy. No, no, the economy, no. My economy, though. My economy. But what about the economy? It's okay, we'll fix it. Nope. We'll speed up. 917. Okay. The Australasian Confederation has been under the authoritarian rule of Governor General William Birdwood since the British invocation of the emergency protocols in 1924, considered by many in the nation to have been a heavy-handed response to the Melbourne Commune syndicalist uprising. Birdwood finally relented calls for an open election, leading to the surprise result of Earl Page's Country Party achieving a minority government in the Canberra Parliament. Page is expected to have a tough time ahead of him, with labor unrest on the rise and calls for the revocation of Birdwood's more egregious restrictions on personal liberty. Interesting. We'll resume. Prima flutla. Oh, okay. The death of Pius XI. All Christendom mourns the death of His Holiness Pope Pius XI, who died following a heart attack after having been in declining health for the past several years, something which rapidly worsened following Black Monday. The Holy Father will soon be interred with the rest of his predecessors in the tomb of the popes. Until the next pope can be chosen, the papal state will be ruled by the College of Cardinals in Rome. The succession of His Holiness is made all the more important due to the Catholic Church's role in governing the reborn papal states, as well as its vehement opposition to syndicalism, a force which has divided Italy and seeks to once again unify the Italian peninsula. How terrible. Oswald Mosley, elected chair. Oh, wait, hang on. Oswald Mosley, elected chairman of the TUC. The 1936 Trade Union Congress in the Union of Britain was made out to be decisive. Longtime chairman of the TUC, Philip Snowden, declared his resignation, causing the four major factions in the Union, Maximists, Autonomists, Federationists, and Congregationists, to butt heads over the position. As the dust settled, Oswald Mosley, leader of the Maximists and a totalist ideologue, has been appointed as the new chairman. Mosley's faction supports a strong central government and full state control of the economy, and are much more in favor of military action and British nationalism than any other faction. Interesting. Gallo seizes control of Ecuador, seemingly unwilling to stand by and watch as a relatively liberal government uh, oh, under Aorist PLRE won the recent election and risked enfeebling Ecuador. Alberto Enrique Gallo has launched a successful push in Quito. Having already dissolved the administration and created a new council of military advisors, the new military strongman has quickly begun embarking on a quest to purify Ecuador of alleged threats and opponents. Though the nation has recently been visited positively as a friendly business environment for foreign investors, whether that state of affairs will be preserved by the new regime is unknown. It seems that Quito's liberalism just couldn't last. Also, I'm just gonna do more research. The First International Congress. Delegates from socialist nations and political movements around the world gathered in Paris today for the latest in a series of world congresses, while the mantle of the Third International was taken up by the Communards after the Russian Civil War. The ideological tenor of the event promises to be very different, with syndicalist parties being the newly dominant force on the far left. Delegates were greeted by a military parade, an exhibition of avant-garde art, and finally a speech by the chairman of the CSP. At the top of the agenda is the spread of the revolution to Asia and North America, ongoing conflict in Spain, policy on colonialism, and the requirements for the membership on the Third International's military alliance. Interesting development. Well, that's the thing with this game is that it just it just keeps going. You just get all these different events that you have to read. Okay, as the German banks collapsed, so did the German corporations owning large parts of Romanian oil industry. The export-based economy of Romania crashed hard after demand for oil and agricultural products hit the rock bottom in the Reichspakt, which has been Romania's main trading partner. Unemployment soared sky high in a fortnight, and our largest bank is on the precipice of collapse. While most non-syndicalist countries simply have to endure the collapse, our government holds a significant control over the economical system. Should we desire so, we could obtain the assets of crashed German corporations quite cheaply and nationalize the refinery industry, saving thousands of Romanian jobs in the process. This might not be a popular move in Berlin, however, but it would send a strong message about Kudrnov's government and its dedication to the well-being of all Romanians. I think, yeah, I think that's what we do. We're gonna roleplay as a Cadre here. Like okay, what would Cadre do? Not this dude. Not this guy. this guy here, Kadrinu, you know? Oh no, it's National Pocket, so it is this guy. Okay, so what are these guys gonna do? You know? But this one gives me stability. We can go alone then. Okay. Um, yeah, so I think we're gonna go for the organized relief work for the bonuses. I guess it doesn't matter now that I have free trade because it's just taken down. So I'll just go for the early mobilization. Again, gotta get those buffs. And now I get all the oil. Okay. We're going, we're going. Chat, we're going. A failed coup in Beijing. Details are unclear, but following a presumed coup attempt in the Forbidden City this morning, Marshal Wu Peifu emerged, arm and sling, with others standing tall. Walking down the stairs, he stopped for a few words with reporters who had rushed to the scene, as Pui, bound and guarded by a group of soldiers, shuffled out. Cao Kun, the democratically elected leader of China, and I were savagely attacked by the Emperor's thugs, no doubt supported by the Kaiser, he said, staring directly into the camera bulge flashing in his face. It is clear that they wish to undo the progress we have made, and after their betrayal today, the Assembly has declared them traitors. China will be a republic once more, free from foreign domination. Another coup in China? Another failed coup in China. Got all these different stories going on. Got a little protection bonus. Organized relief work. Yeah, we're gonna work for the conductor. Even though we have alleviated the efforts of the economic recession quite effectively, there's still a huge number of unemployed in Romania. The government proposes state funding for relief work in iron-guarded administered labor camps, while the king wishes to support private industrialists to provide relief jobs. While the first option would be assured cure to the unemployment, the proponents of the king's policy argue it would be only a temporary measure which does not benefit the economy as a whole. The conductor will find work for his people. Yeah, that's conductor. I'm gonna see here. Yeah, I think this is the way that I'm gonna want to go for now, just to get the legionary bonuses. The game definitely wants you to like take the king's route, and so it's gonna be interesting to see if I can go on the route of the legionnaires. King's Day. Immediately following the reading of the Declaration of Independence in Parliament by Mikhail Gogolnisiu on the 9th of May, the 10th of May has bore witness not just to its adoption by the then Dom Carol I, but also to the arrival of that same Carol in Romania in 1866, and his acclamation as done, as well as the coronation of Kirill I as king in 1881, Romania thus becoming a kingdom. Thus, laden with history, the 10th of May was designated as a national day, being joyously celebrated within the kingdom to this day, in spite of its short-lived prohibition by German occupational authorities during the Weltkrieg. This year has proven not that different in that regard, as celebrations sweep the nation once more, with whatever divisions present within the country being temporarily buried, replaced by a common sentiment of belonging and national unity. Crowds in Bucharest attend the military parade within the capital, as smaller-scale parades ensue within other provincial capitals. The day continues with other cultural activities before culminating with a royal speech and fireworks displays all across the country. Long live the king, and long live Romania. Long live the king. Damn that king. The collapse of the United Baltic Duchy. Ooh, I have to look at that in a minute. I'm gonna want to head and pick up the infantry equipment bonus. Oh, just Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania. Or is that, yeah. Estonia just has the general focus tree. I think, yeah, Latvia does too. Riga. Of course, you know, Riga, this singular town here, has a custom focus tree, but these two don't. Of course, of course. We're gonna go and go for this one. Union Nationalista achieves Italian majority. The Fifth Congress of the Socialist Republic of Italy has ended with the Union Nationalista of Italy, led by Benito Mussolini, achieving a majority of seats in the government. Oh, the change in regime amongst tended the Republic towards a more hardline and militaristic stance, particularly towards the Republic's enemies and the rest of Italy, who have already reacted to the development with alarm. Interesting. Okay, King Prajathipuk of Siam has officially published the first constitution of the centuries-old kingdom in Southeast Asia, drawing inspiration from the Meiji era of Japanese constitution and the government of Germany. It empowers the king and the common people above the powerful royal family, who have exerted a great deal of control over His Majesty. In a statement today, Prime Minister Parya Manopakorn uh, Nihitsisada confirmed that he had been asked to perform a caretaker government to administer the upcoming elections, while the old cabinet is slowly but surely being removed from office. Getting with the times, it seems. Gotta modernize. Is chat having a good night? I hope chat is having a good night. Oh, Manuel Calles assumes full control of Argentina. If you want to read that, here it is. Uh, hmm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go for this one. These not words, I think go down here and get the actual research slot. What is the Legionary Workers Corps? Probably one of these, isn't it? Oh. In spite of having to tackle the additional responsibilities of governance in addition to having to lead the legionary movement, the captain, Corneliu Zella Codrino, has found enough time in his schedule to work on a new book, a volume that is just part autobiography, part ideological manifesto. Titled For My Legionaries, the book tells the story of its founder's life, from a fatidic oath in a forest around Husi to his first forays into Parliament and assumption of the prime ministerial office, heavily interspersed with its author's musings on a host of topics, from the role of the monarchy to that of the nation as a whole. Written in a relatively curt, diary-like style, spiced with various speeches, article quotations, letters, and Bible passages, it proved to be very popular once published, with its first edition selling out in a few weeks. The 2,503 examples distributed to members who could not afford it now could afford it notwithstanding, and demand for new one gradually going up. The Prime Minister himself was surprised with the speed with which his volume flew off the shelves, and was said to have entered talks to have new editions published, with more ambitious voices claiming it will also be translated into foreign languages soon enough. A monumentous occasion. I'm gonna go ahead and go for. We're gonna go for the, yeah, school psychology. Make some hardier boys. You having a decent night, you? I'm having a pretty decent night too. I'm chilling with my Minecraft loved ones. Um, I'm gonna take the hit to national populism, I think, because I believe. Oh, but the king moves over their heads, conspiring and waiting for a sign of weakness. We must not let him threaten our states. However, we cannot yet risk open conflict with the king. But after our foreign enemies have been conquered, all bets are off. The balance of power has been disturbed, continually lowering our nation's stability. Though this may be necessary for a time, we should try to resolve this as soon as we are able. Okay. Indochina declares independence. After the Weltkrieg, Germany seized French Indochina, but stability wasn't restored until Germany crushed the South China revolutionaries in 1926. Now, Indochinese nationalists and leftists under a coalition government called the Viet Minh have risen up against the colonial regime. Nguyen An Ninh, the head of the Viet Minh, declared the independence of Indochina in Saigon. After paying homage to the resistance of the Asian people, he condemned the brutal German oppression of Asian people and affirmed the Indo-Chinese people's commitment to the unity of Asia. Observers agree with German media that they are just some weak peasants. German garrison forces or even the police in the Far East can easily suppress the revolts known as the Viet Minh. They are surely not model colonial subjects. Okay, here we are. Factions of the Legion. The Legion is hardly a unitary movement. Even though each and every one only seeks greatness for all Romanians, many disagree on the exact methods and on the question of leadership. Corneliu Codruno has solidified his position as a clear leading personality among the movement. But his position is not an eternal one, and his grip of the movement requires constant reaffirming. Codruno's hold of the movement is strong. What do each of these do? I get construction speed and manpower. Lose stability, gain attack. Okay. Finding new markets. Okay. Trade deal with the Russians, Entente, Greeks, and Serbians. Okay, I'm gonna have to find that first. That's military stuff. That's the political stuff. Okay, so it's in here somewhere. The Legion of Archangel Michael, or Iron Guard, has become a powerful mass movement with a huge following. Despite strict ideological discipline, however, the Guard is not monolithic, and it increasingly faces nonconformism within its wide membership. These nonconformist tendencies, be they towards radicalism or moderatism, have allowed the king to exploit divisions within the movement, leading some young, outspoken legionaries to criticize the legion's leadership. That these descendants will not be punished is a certainty, but a degree of said punishment is not. Cordiano may not wish to advertise this dissidence in the Legion, or alienate younger members whose support remains tentative. Either lose political power or take the political power hit. Um, okay, so I think I'm gonna have to try and find where we can do the trade. Hmm. I think that's gonna be the best way for me to go. Create a on shoes. Mm, 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 mm. I just randomly clicked one. No. I think I might have clicked the right one. I don't know. Oopsies. Jabal Shamara. Whatever. War. Death. Pog. Ooh, look at all that research done. Um. Hmm. I think I'm gonna have to look for our national focus in terms of doctrine. So what? So that's Grand Battle Plan, Superior Firepower. Motorized, Mobile Warfare, and Mass Assault. Okay, I think I'm gonna go Mass Assault, or no, sorry, Mobile Warfare, because Romania can actually do that. I also am going to. Mm, mm. The Belgian Declaration of Independence. Sick of German opposition and the disaster of Black Monday, Belgian independence movements throughout the country have been revolting and performing guerrilla strikes on the German army. Due to their own recovery, the German Empire has been unstable to support Elizabeth I to the fullest and has let the situation escalate beyond their control. After coordinated strikes by the Independence Army on the side of Mons and Antwerp, they were finally able to push the Flanders and Wallonian army back to Brussels, where after fierce fighting, the German king surrendered. With no clear answer yet from the German Empire, many fear that independent Belgium might be short-lived, especially with tensions between the Empire and the Commune of France rising in the strategic location of the country. Good luck, Belgium. Like, I know the Union State's supposed to be the bad guys, but I mean, like, come on, like this, this is just too good sounding. Okay. Uh, Long-awaited land reform. There has been multiple attempts to conduct a comprehensive reform of land ownership in Romania after the Weltkrieg. Perhaps the most ambitious attempt to solve the unequal land ownership was the Legionary Land Reform of 1934, which came to a halt after the wealthy aristocrats asked the king to intervene on their behalf. This time, Prime Minister Quadrini was defiant to go through with the large-scale plans of breaking up the large estates and give the farmholds to the peasants who actually farmed them. These large estates form easily over half of all the arable lands in Romania. Hmm, Okay. The aristocracy seems quite worried about Quadrino's plans, and there have already been multiple appeals to the king to stop, or by the very least milden, the planned reform program. As the king does wield power to ultimately block any laws the parliament passes, his opinions and influence cannot be ignored. It is hard to imagine that he would actually block the reform, but he would surely aim to get his own ideas incorporated into the greatest restructuring of the Romanian economy in the 20th century. It is our duty to the peasants of the land. So now I want to do the loans for small farmers. Yeah. The Congress of Arel. With the recent independence of Belgium from their former German masters, the inevitable question that arose from this was simple. What's next? The two nations sent representatives to the tiny Ardennes city of Erel in German Luxembourg, near the border with southern Wallonia. There, the future path of Belgium in Europe was decided. Belgium and the Reich have agreed that in exchange for the Kaiser recognizing the formal independence of Brussels, Belgium would join the Reichspakt, allowing the Germans to protect them against the aggression of the Commune of France. It appears that the Belgians are willing to compromise their newly won independence in order to safeguard their future. Belgium returns to the world stage. We got that jazz going. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Until recently, King Carol has often appeared alongside Prime Minister Claude Renew in public in a show of unity between the nation's two leaders. However, the king has begun appearing in public on his own, often impromptu without notifying the captain. It is no secret that Carol is hoping to build up a personal base of support independent from the Legion, and it is clearly a threat to Claude Renew's own position. Either let the king parade and avoid a controversy as a nation that needs to appear united, or protest these displays as Carol selfishly threatens to sabotage their cooperation. Let him entertain the masses? Or protest? I can take that. And then hit with the... What? Hang on. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to get the trade deals with the Russians. Cursed nonconformists. Huey Long elected president. Okay, hang on. Uh, Despite the massive instability rampant in the nation ever since the Great Depression of 1925, the presidential elections went forward, and the voting results are clear. Huey Long of the America First Union Party is the 31st President of the United States. Huey Long is famous for his successful governorship of Louisiana, but he has received a lot of criticism for his populist policies and the usage of Minutemen paramilitaries to combat political rivals. The Socialist Party of America contested the election results too, calling them rigged. Let's see what a Southerner can do as president. The Feast of the Holy Archangels. In Eastern Orthodox liturgies, the 8th of November bears witness to the Feast of the Holy Archangels Michael and Gabriel, as well as other bodiless powers of heaven. Across the country and beyond, many people celebrate their name days, and many others are birthdays even. None, however, celebrate as proudly as the Legion of Archangel Michael, whose dedication to the commander of the hosts of heaven has driven their captain to declare the patron's feast day as a movement-wide celebration. Nest meetings on the day were dedicated to commemorating their heavenly patron. Many areas held demonstrations and parades on the day before culminating it with the Divine Liturgy attendance. Many churches report spikes in attendance driven by the movement's more pious members. The captain himself joined in the celebrations, attending celebratory messages and greetings to members and local organizations throughout the country, before attending the liturgy in Bucharest in his favorite church, St. Grigori. The Archangel watches. I'm nearly ready to go with Bulgaria, I think. Nearly. Once I do a bit more training, I think I'll be able to take Bulgaria. Because, yeah, they're still having a lot of issues. Coco, tomorrow, do you want to hop on a Hypixel with me? Because I need to get some clips to send to Nuenic. Republican victor in Brazil. The Republican Party won Brazil because there isn't a Republican Party in America, it's in Brazil. Does that make sense? Ooh. Not that. Okay. Fed up by the constant bickering in the Ottoman Chamber of Deputies and hindered by a conservative and often royalist opposition, the Grand Vizier has used recent domestic events to centralize power around the position of Grand Vizier. The maintenance of public order decree, issued in times of great crisis, has already led to the creation of various tribunals to sentence the enemies of the state and to safeguard the Ottoman state. Although many question the true motives of the man, it is clear that he enjoys nigh full support by the military apparatus, greatly limiting the chances of a successful counter-coup. Is this a return to 1913? Maybe. Only time will tell. ANI overthrows Italian government. After failing in their attempt to take power in the 1937 elections, Italo Balbo and the ANI today overthrew the Italian government following months of insurrection and bombings. The Republican government's attempts to keep order failed miserably enough that sentiment turned against them, and the ANI pounced on this weakness and gained considerable support within the Italian military. With demonstrations filling the streets, particularly in Venice, Italo Balbo today announced that the ANI had taken complete control and would see that the nation remained strong in the face of the syndicalist threat. Sounds like a recipe for instability, if you ask me. Oh man, my man here. Wait, again, we got Benito, we got Italo. Fun fact, actually, so while Benito still ruled Italy during actual World War II, Italo Balbo was actually a very famous general. Actually, so famous that Mussolini actually had him killed because he wasn't a big fan of his government. That's another war. That's a thing. Uh, Probably when I stream. Around that time is when I would be asking for that. Okay. Uh, yeah, across the Danube. Mm, 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 da, 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 mm. Yeah, about this time tomorrow. Exactly. Da, 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 da. Hello, everyone in chat. We're gonna get close. We're getting close to the end of the stream for tonight. Uh, Unfortunately, but 'tis what it is. I have several other things to do before calling it a night for me. But you know, same time tomorrow night. Oop, okay. Hang on, I'll finish what I was saying after I read this. King tours the countryside. As the king continues to improve his abysmal public image, his recent tours have led him to the Romanian countryside, where he has made many public gatherings and speeches exalting Romanian farmers and inspecting results from the land reform program. We could simply ignore the king's pathetic attempt at ruling our support base and not allow it to gain even more attention, but it may be wise to counter it and make sure Romanians are reminded of who truly cares about their well-being. We should stay there. They gain paternal autocrats. Yeah, we don't want that. We want these guys. We want the populists. The old guard gains power. I'll take a look at the old guard. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep that. And then I think I'm good in that area. I'll go ahead and rein in the Legion. Hi, Michael. Hello, everyone else in chat. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah. So, we're gonna be wrapping up the stream soon. But that's just the way it is. Everything from the fatherland. And this time tomorrow, I'll be streaming. I'll be continuing this game, actually, of Kaiserreich. So if you guys enjoy what you see, and you haven't followed already, please drop a follow. So that way Twitch will notify you when I'm streaming. Muta releases a book. The captain's brother-in-law and co-founder of the legionary movement, Ion Mota, has been at Codrenu's side for a long time. In the Legion's earliest days, he was often a bigger theorist of its beliefs than the captain himself, who preferred to maintain a degree of flexibility in order to enhance the Legion's chances. Now, after the successful publication of For My Legionaries, Mota has released a book of his own titled Cranie de Len, Wooden Skulls. Title taken from an article commemorating the death of a legionary killed in the movement's early days, and having his death marked behind quote-unquote wooden language, containing a collection of Mota's most important articles on varying issues, from the origins of the Legion among nationalist studentry to the necessity of Greater Hungary's dismantlement, all the way to the mundane-like miracles attributed to the Archangel Michael. Acting as a microcosm of legionary beliefs, especially of its old guard, agro-mystic side, the book has become very popular among legionary circles, strengthening the reach of the so-called quote-unquote old guard. And then we unlock the decisions for Bulgaria. And then I'm going to hold off on that for now until I actually mess with Austria. So that's going to take some time. I'm going to want to hit this one. Or I think I should probably start doing this actually, so I can start getting army buffs. Okay. Send the I think we'll send the what? We'll wait until the ultimatum. Sorry, I totally forgot what it meant. Was said. Um, I'm gonna take the 4 stability hit. Do that one. It is our duty to tell the truth, even if we do not like it. And then we'll doing this. Again, trying to keep that balanced. Here, that is. I'm not gonna read that. I'm not going to. I'm about to end the stream. Like, please, please. Okay. You guys had enough time to read that. Standoff in America. Oh yeah, there's a big American Civil War. Did I mention about that in this mod? Well, no, I have. And here's the thing with the American Civil War, it never goes the same way twice. So that's something. Always makes it nice and interesting, you know? Punish the nonconformists. Refuse a plebiscite. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to end the stream there. Romania has declared war on Bulgaria on the 27th of February, 1937. I'll go ahead and do Romania stream game. That's how I know which one it is. Okay. Always a new storyline indeed. Cool. Freedom. Anyways, that was tonight's stream. I hope you all had a great time chilling with me and learning about some old history. Is Nuenic live? I'll go ahead and raid Nuenic for y'all. I don't think he is. Okay. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. That's alright. Well, that's the end of the stream. Have a good night. You have a good night too, Coco. Love y'all. Thanks for watching.